They're not at the hospital yet, though. Lord, I was checking in. All right. At this time, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners for Monday, September 12th, 2022. And if you'll please stand for the invocation. Thank you.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings you've given us, for the freedom to meet and do the county's business. We ask that you bless those that need healing. We ask you bless our friends in the UK as they mourn the loss of their queen. We ask that you lead, guide, and direct us. Give us strength and wisdom as we go forward. In your most gracious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask for approval of the agenda, but we need to amend the agenda to move item B on action, the proposed amendment to board rules of procedure, to the next meeting on September 26th, because we don't have all the language from Ty back yet to look at. So it'll be on action next time, next meeting. So we'll have that off. And are there any other changes or additions to the agenda? All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No one signed up for public comment, so we can move on past that, which takes us to comments from the commissioners and our managers. So I'll start with Commissioner Morris.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome everybody that's here and might be watching us on the live streaming. I'll let you know that there will definitely be a Board of Trustees meeting next month at the beginning before this meeting for the hospital. I'd like to recognize, as was mentioned earlier, Ricky Bennett and Danny May was helping him when I came by one day with the great job they did on our furniture here in the chambers that hopefully you can see on the live stream, but did a really great job matching it up. And hopefully getting the sound fixed where people can really hear us more easily. So, then last, I'd congratulate Eddie and Tori for persevering through the rain Saturday and doing a really good job considering the circumstances they were in, trying to put on that event. It was very well done. That's all I have.
All right. Andy Nicholson is out back surgery, but he's on Skype. Do you have any comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, just thank you to everybody who's reached out to me, called, and prayers and everything. Just getting through a soreness. I should be good here in a couple more weeks, but once again, appreciate the prayers and calls, and hope y'all have a good night. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Commissioner Mendenhall?
Thank you. I want to also welcome all of you for being here tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and participate in our process of government. To everyone that's watching on the live stream, also I want to say a special thank you for you taking time to watch our meeting tonight. Every time we have a meeting, I hope that you, when you leave, you leave with some information that you didn't know when you came. It's important to learn what the county is doing, the process we take to do it, and say thank you for that. And I also want to say a special, certainly on my heart, 9/11 was yesterday. I know everybody probably in this room that is old enough knows where they were at when 9/11 occurred. I know I was principal of Sandy Ridge Elementary School at that time. And we had a TV in the media center, and when I found out that they had first twin tower, I got a call from someone, and I went down, and it was like a dagger in the Americans' hearts that day. But to see how the people in the United States came together together that day was unbelievable. Mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, President Bush, everybody came together as one, as Americans. And, a lot of people joined the military after that happened. It was something that they took pride in America, and for us to be attacked on our own soil really fired up the patriotism in America during that time. And I just want to say to the 2,977 people that passed away in that tremendous episode, all of y'all's families are in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Again, reiterate, great to see everybody today. Been another beautiful day. We didn't get the thunderstorms. I'm glad we didn't get those. Thought about y'all Saturday down at the Stokes. My heart was out to y'all. We was out doing catering, so it wasn't a good day for anything outside. I can assure you that. I hope they had a good turnout. We thought about it, but go back to what Ronnie talked about 9/11. This kind of got a little special place in my heart as well, because as a firefighter, when that many firefighters lost their lives that day. When you sit in a county and you think about how many firefighters there is in this county, that's about how many total across this whole county is with the fire department. So if something like that would happen here in our county, it would have been bad news. But my heart still goes out to those folks today. I don't think a lot of the families got what they should have, but that's dealing with government, I guess. Again, thank y'all for being here.
And I'd like to thank everybody for being here, and for the ones watching. Didn't make it to the stomp because of the rain. I guess I wimped out on the parade because of the rain. I wasn't sure there'd be anybody watching and didn't participate much, so I hope that we have good weather next year and I can participate in all of that. I usually do go to the stomp and try to eat some good food and buy some things I don't need, just to support some of the vendors and things. But I do commend all the people who had a hand in putting that on, and Tori and Eddie and his volunteers. It was they had a lot to handle down there, and they all did a great job. The fair's this week, so Stokes County Fair starts tomorrow, so hopefully everybody can make it out to that. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate for that, so that's good. And today is September the 12th, and what I remember most about the attacks on 9/11 is more or less the day after, and how America came together the day after the attacks, and how everybody put aside their differences for once, and we were just united as a country. And I don't want anything like that to ever happen again, but if we could get back to that kind of unity in this country, it would be a good day for America, I think. So we would just keep praying for that. That's all I've got. Shannon, you can.
Thank you to everybody for being here. We at the Stokes Stomp you were mentioning, it was a really soggy day, but we spent the day there on Saturday, which ended with the wonderful guys at the Danbury Fire Department having to help us with a chain to get out of the Stokes Stomp. It was so muddy in the upper area up there. It was thankful for them and all their help in that, and taking care of that. And about Ricky and Danny, and this room looks great. And while they were doing this, Public Works, along with those two guys, did a lot of work for us over at the animal shelter while we were shut down for renovations and moving walls, which requires a ton of work from them, and wire pulling and putting down a different floor and doing different things. And I really, really appreciate them taking the time to do that. I know there was a lot of other things going on during that same time. I think Stuart might have blocked my number at this point for all the things I was asking them to do. So I really appreciate them doing that for us. And hopefully the weather is going to be nice for the fair this week, which starts tomorrow, I guess. And maybe we'll have a little better turnout for that. But Tori and Eddie did a great job on the stomp, even in the rain, moving the music up to the arts place. Everybody enjoyed that there. And it was still a pretty good turnout considering the rain. A lot of folks came out and braved the weather. So it was a good day. So, thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for reminding me. I meant to say during my comments, I visited the animal shelter today to to see the improvements, and it looks a lot better over there, and appreciate everybody's hard work on
Yes.
that, and Ricky's work on our furniture in here, and his people. It really looks good in here, and animal shelter looks great, so,
A lot of nice volunteers that came and helped, and
Yep.
some painting. We,
Into that. I
Yeah.
went over twice last week. My
Yeah, it
dad
looks
did
good.
a great job, and Rick and them did a fantastic job.
yep.
Thank you to all of them.
Yep, for sure. All right, so moving on. Before moving any further, does any board member have a conflict of interest with any of the items on the agenda for tonight, or one that could be perceived as a conflict of interest? None? All right. And we have the consent agenda, which is the tax items for approval, the budget amendments, resolutions, resolution authorizing the sale of a county-issued sidearm and badge for retirees. Are there any questions to any of these items? And I'll,
Questions, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as is.
all right, second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the information is, we have Brandon Hooker here to talk to us about a new law regarding the excise tax refunds.
Well, I'll preface this. Have you already been informed about this law change? Okay. I didn't think about that before I came in. I said, they may already know about this. I may just be here taking up space.
No, go ahead.
So there was a law change this year regarding excise tax overpayments in the county and the process to refund those. Currently, that is governed by General Statute 105-228.37, and it is cleverly titled Refund of Overpayment of Tax. And there's sections A through F, and the session law this year adds a subsection. It was House Bill 674, and it became session law 2022-50. It was signed into law by Governor Cooper July the 7th. And currently, when an attorney's office or whoever pays an excise tax, if there's been an overpayment, there's a refund process, and it involves the county commissioners. And you have to wait for the county commissioners to be able to get a meeting put together and hear the request. And there's 60 days here, 10 days there, 90 days here. It's a bit complicated, and the problem is time. And these transactions, people don't like to drag the feet, and you know that attorneys' trust accounts are heavily regulated, right, Ty?
That's true.
And they want those things to balance as quickly as they can. So this streamlines the process a little bit. And so I'm going to read the new law as it has been amended. It amends that statute that I mentioned a while ago. Section 2.1 of the Session Law 2022-50. It says General Statute 105-228.37 is amended by adding a new subsection to read, refunds for overpayment. The Board of County Commissioners may, by resolution, authorize either or both of the county manager or the county finance officer to grant a request for a refund of a tax paid under this article that is filed within 6 months after the date the tax was paid. If a refund is granted pursuant to such authority, the refund will be processed in the same manner as if it was granted by the Board of County Commissioners as set forth in this section. A taxpayer who requests but is not granted a refund from a county manager or county finance officer may file a written request with the Board of County Commissioners pursuant to the procedure set forth in this section. So basically, it streamlines it and lets the commissioners appoint the finance director or the county manager to take care of this, so that the person waiting on a refund request doesn't have to wait, and they can get that in a more timely manner, I guess. That was the goal behind it. We've been working, I'm on the legislative committee for the Registered Deeds Association. We've been working with the Bar Association on this for several months, and finally got it in a bill this year in a short session. So I'm really just here to tell you about that. And so, like I said, it says by resolution, so that's kind of up to you and Ty and whoever else, but I'm really just here, like I said, to give information about that. As Register of Deeds, I haven't had one of these come through. It does happen in other counties all the time, We haven't had it. The only issue we've had with excise tax being mistakes on those is they usually forget to put the excise tax on the deed. And so actually they're owing us money instead of us owing them money, which is a very good thing. And that can be easily fixed, but the refund process is a little bit more complicated. And all the other sections remain the same. This is just adding that section to that. And that's all I was here to do, was to tell you about it.
Thank you. Do board members have any questions about it?
Do we need to take action, policy action to delegate that to the county manager or the finance officer?
I think this just allows you the authority to do that and discretion to do that. I don't think it's a necessity. I just think
But, I mean, do we want to do that then, I guess I should say?
yeah, that's up to the commissioners.
That would be a tie question. Is that something you think we probably do?
I would recommend it. I can prepare a resolution
All right, that
for you
sounds
to consider.
I think we should too.
okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very
Brandon.
much.
Appreciate it. All right, that takes us to discussion, and item A is the Walnut Cove and Pinnacle Green Box sites.
Good afternoon. And I didn't
Hey, Glenda.
or at all, really. But, so I'm gonna start out, and then Perry's also here, if anybody has any questions, or he may come up and talk to y'all also about anything I leave out. We had posted for bids, received everything, and was opened on the 7th. We did receive more than one bid, which was a great thing. You know, a lot of times we do have an issue with that, but we actually received 4 for the Walnut Cove site and 3 for the Pinnacle site. But unfortunately, they were all over our budget. So I kind of broke it down in your packet so you guys kind of see who bid what and everything to that nature. After we opened all the bids, Stuart and Perry and I kind of discussed, was there anything we could cut out? And unfortunately, there wasn't really anything in there that we had went above and beyond on. So we felt that there wasn't anything to cut to be able to provide the citizens what we were trying to provide. A safe, you know, something we do not have to continue to put rock and gravel on, because that is one of our main problems, is the holes that are there. So with that being said, I would like to move forward with going ahead and honoring the bids for the Walnut Cove site to Garanco and for Colt Simmons for the Pinnacle sites. I would love for y'all to move this to action tonight, if you would, so we could go ahead and get started on it, and Stuart can, we want to try to get a timeline with the contractors so we can post the sites will be closed for the times and get people, aware that where we're going to have to do where. So that's totally up to you all. And like I said, Perry's here. If you have any questions or if you'd like to say anything, feel free, Perry. Jump in.
Thank you.
Good evening. Hey, did want to mention in the contract, both contracts have a $20,000 contingency allowance, and that's in the event we run into soil that's not too good, that we put some money in there for that. So the hope is there that that money would cover something like that. If we don't spend the money, that's money not spent, so it comes back to the county. But knowing kind of how soil is and everything, we'll probably have some, so that's why it's there, and we don't want to have to come back and ask for more money, so that's what's put there. A lot of times when you see pavement that has those kind of alligator cracks all over it, that means subgrade wasn't any good and the soil wasn't any good, so that's the kind of thing we try to fix before we put it down, so that 5 years from now, it doesn't look like that. So that's what's up there. Both sites, we are going to basically paved for the entire portion that the customers coming in to drop off their trash will be. A couple of things we've done at Pinnacle, we've actually added a strip of pavement after you come in to create 2 lanes. And that's to handle the volume of traffic a lot better, to get them off the highway, make it a lot safer. So that's a good thing that's been done. Down where the trash trucks are, it's concrete, so it's strong enough to hold the concrete or the trash trucks, so that's good. And also they won't, as Glenda said, you're not going to be adding gravel all the time. So it's a good setup on that. There's also, to give you an idea, 3 compactors will be there where there's only 1 now, so the steward's got it set up so trucks won't have to run on the weekend, which what I understand is you pay overtime and some extra costs about that. It also gets those trucks kind of off the highway on the weekend. So there's a lot of good things going on. The only trick to the compactors is to do all those compactors, we have to bring in new electrical service because they take 60 amps apiece to run, and there was only like 100 amp service out there that barely ran what was out there. So we're coming in and having to do some of those kind of things. But all in all, it's going to be a vast improvement on everything. The other thing to mention on Walnut Cove site is we're actually changing the way you come in and out of the site, that there'll be a one-way in, one-way out, where now both paths kind of beyond, so that kind of cross-trafficking kind of mess that happens out there will go away. The other thing is that creates also a stack over there to get cars off the highway. So it'll be a welcome improvement to everybody, and if you want to ask me any questions about it, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Board members have questions? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Perry, the higher bids, is that just because of the screwed up state of the economy and construction, higher than what we projected?
A portion of it. I did the estimate, or my estimating of probable cost back in May.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, we didn't have the engineer kind of working on the electrical, so the amount of electrical being done was significantly less. But there is some cost of materials, cost of everything, the way you've seen. Labor is just horrendous in the construction industry. So
Okay.
there's a lot of things going on. That the amount of paving and the amount of grading that we have to do at Walnut Cove is really, when you see the difference between the two, that's really the difference.
Okay. One other question, if we approve it tonight, do we have to have a budget amendment approved at the same time?
Lisa's got a number
Lisa
ready.
Got a number
in
ready?
case.
Okay. That's all I have.
I don't have any questions. I just think that, for the last 3 years, which is just my 6th year on the board, this has been one of the big items, that we seem to want to get done each year, and then something comes up which prevents us from doing it. And that's easy sometimes for us to understand what is handicapping us from getting this done. But the citizens don't always understand. And I think I know they do. I go to the one in Walnut Cove many times, and I've been to the one in Pinnacle. And we have basically had this in our plans now for 3 years, Glenda, isn't that right?
Yes,
3
that's
years.
At least.
And here we are, still talking about it in September of 2022. And I have sit through in 6 years many times where we put out bids come in and they're over budget, and we've approved them before. And I'd sit here and voted on them. And I think it's time we get these 2 projects done, Pinnacle and Walnut Cove, and the waste sites. And I added up what the cost would be over. And also, we've got some projects that I think that are going to come in, and we're going to save money on them.
That's our hope, yes.
I'm almost positive we are. And that money can be transferred over to these 2 projects. I know the people in Pinnacle, King, Walnut Cove, Pine Hall, that area, they're all hoping that we approve this. So, Madam Chair, appreciating the questions that Commissioner Morris asked, but I would like to make this, after each commissioner gets a chance to speak, I'd like to get this approved tonight, so I'd like to get it moved to action and take a vote on it tonight.
All right. Sounds good. Any questions?
Yeah, after I looked at it, I knew it was gonna come in higher than what we budgeted. I got some friends and relatives in the construction bid and everything else, so when you take a 10-3 roll of wire, it's $500 now, and the asphalt and concrete the way it is, it's ridiculous. It's kind of surprised me, the price is where it's at, really. I mean, considering to talk to all these guys out here doing construction business.
Yeah,
What it's costing you.
we actually had real competition, so.
Yeah, and everybody, when you look at those numbers, they're not that far apart either, you know. You know, I'm like Commissioner Mendenhall, I think it's time to move forward.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely needed and long overdue, so, is it the pleasure of the board to move it to action?
Let's get, Andy got any comments?
Oh.
Andy Nicholson.
Oh, Andy, you got any comments? He might be asleep. You have any
I
questions?
just want to kind of, you call me. I want to agree with Mr. Mendenhall, he said there, it's been going on for a long time. I remember back when we first come on the board, this is one of the kind of hot topics that kept getting pushed down the road. It ain't gonna get no cheaper, so I'm kind of with them that, with 89 being such a high traffic area, and traffic coming in and out, it's a safety concern. I want to go ahead and push this thing on through, so I'd like to move to action tonight as well.
All right, sounds good. All right, now we'll make this item B on action. We took item B off.
Yeah, and it'll be budget amendment number, you got the,
I think we said 16 and 17. I did one, a budget amendment for each.
Pinnacle and one for Wanacove.
16 and 17. All right. We'll take action tonight. Thank you. We appreciate y'all's work on this. All right. Moving on, planning board appointment. Amber?
There's a vacancy on the planning board for the Snow Creek Township. We received one application, and that's for Tori Mabe, who also works at the county in economic development and tourism. But he does qualify. He lives in the Snow Creek Township, so his application's attached for viewing, and also a list of references that he provided.
All right.
Just one simple question, there's no conflict of interest with this, is it, Tom?
All right.
Only question I have.
Any other questions?
Just need to open the floor for further nominations.
Make a motion that we close nominations.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll have it on for next time on action. All right, the fireworks display request.
Yep, so Fire Marshal Scott Aaron asked if we would present this to you at this meeting. They have a fireworks display request received from Glenn Knox of Red Road Group LLC for a display at Luna's Trail on Saturday, October the 15th. The Fire Marshal's office recommends approval of this request, and the request letter is attached on your agenda packet for your viewing. They do these for any time there's a fireworks request. You recall seeing these for previous requests. It's just they're required to do so for these. So if you are in favor of this, you can, it's certainly fine to move to action for the next meeting. It's
Next
fine.
meeting, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You've got plenty of time for that.
Okay. All right. All right, we'll have that on action next time. And item D is the proposed River Street Communication Shelter at Piney Grove.
Yeah, so I spoke with Assistant Superintendent Jared Jones about this, and they had received a request from River Street to their attorney, Fred Johnson, approaching them about leasing a space on the site of Piney Grove Middle School. It's at the intersection of Weldon Smith Road and Piney Grove Church Road, and there's some pictures attached to your agenda that you can see kind of what they're talking about putting there as far as what the location would look like. It's a substation or a communication shelter. You see them throughout the county. You just approved one here for an easement for somebody to put one here to improve. It would improve that area's service, which would be a huge plus. But they have to, because what the request is, get approval from the Board of Commissioners on that as well. And they did ask that if you were in favor of doing this, if you could move this to action, because they meet soon and they could go ahead and take action on it themselves at their next meeting as well. If not, it would just prolong them being able to act on it when they meet again after you meet at the end of the month.
All right. Board members have any questions about this?
Move to action.
All right. We'll make this item C on action. That takes us to the action agenda, and the first item is the proposed amendment to the informal public comments rule. If I have a motion to approve.
Can you move that to the next meeting?
No, we moved the procedure,
Oh, okay.
which is about being able to vote remotely and stuff.
You made a motion.
This is the
to
public
approve.
comment
Wayne made a
revision.
motion,
Oh, okay, I got it.
Okay,
And I second.
you second. All in favor?
I have a
Aye.
question before.
Oh, sorry, Andy.
Sorry.
That's all right. Am I, I know we're still going through some rule changes, does my vote count on this part right here?
Does his vote count?
There's no authorization in your policy currently.
Since we're not under the state of emergency till we change
That
that
expired.
with the, we haven't got the language changed yet, so probably not.
Okay, just making sure for that, thank you.
Refrain from voting, I guess.
I have a couple questions on
Okay.
it, actually.
Go ahead.
I thought we'd move, could I get a little better understanding of what an inappropriate gesture is or is not, in you guys' opinion? Like, for instance, if somebody points their finger at us, is that inappropriate or is not?
I think I thought it meant like shooting somebody the bird, flipping the bird, that kind of thing.
I know that would be, but then,
Pointing your finger, I don't think is inappropriate. I think when you're talking, a lot of people do talk with their hands and gesture with their
most
hands.
every gesture except that would be okay, probably then?
I would think so.
Okay.
Can't think of anything else that would be inappropriate.
Okay. If it's just that one thing, could we just define it as that one thing, or?
Well, it's.
I mean, I'm just trying to take the,
Yeah, it's the reasonableness test, you know, it's, an inappropriate gesture would be what the person with reasonable sensibilities would consider inappropriate. So, I mean, you really can't define it.
subjective instead
Yeah,
of
it's very
objective.
subjective. It's the reasonable person standard, you know.
So just leave it like kind of broad
Yeah,
like
I'd leave
this,
it
so,
like it is, rather than trying to define it.
okay.
Okay, one other one. It says they can't do accusations. Does that mean they can't accuse a board member of something? Because that seems kind of unreasonable to me to.
Well, yeah, that would make.
I'll give you an example. This lady came here a while back and she more or less accused me of being in some fringe group and that if I was there, I should resign my position. Well, I didn't see anything wrong with what she was doing, but would she have violated this policy by doing that? Personally, I'd rather give her the benefit of the doubt and let her say what she wants to, but if y'all remember that, do you remember that one?
Any accusation would come within that definition.
So you want to take that one thing out? I mean,
Would you be accused of doing something good? Or is that not the definition?
could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry.
I don't think that's
You
the
can be accused of anything, and it could be good, it could be bad, so.
I just think I'm just trying to take the vagueness out of it, that's all. So we know what we can and can't do, and so people are not confused by it.
So I'm pulling it back up. So it was in the yellow is what we were removing, right?
Yeah, this is in the sentence before that. And sometimes people just want to come and vent about something, and I kind of think they ought to be able to do that if they want to without violating that previous sentence. If the sentence allows that, then that's kind of okay with me, but.
Well, if pleasure of the board is to take out the word accusations, I don't have a problem with that.
So if someone comes in and they said, Madam Chair, I am under the impression that you were involved in the embezzlement of money that went on through the certain commissioners or certain people, and I have evidence of that, and she's accusing you of embezzling money out of this, and you're gonna be okay with her in front of the county saying that you embezzled money? That's an accusation.
Well, I would say by the time we figured out what they were doing, the words are gonna be out of their mouth anyway. I mean, it's kind of hard to
Well,
stop
unless-
at mid-sentence.
One good thing is we rearranged the order so that if somebody does do that, you can then counter it
Yeah,
immediately
That's
without
true.
it leaving the room, so.
It's just a
so,
good thing.
Yeah, good thing. I'll just take that one word out, and I think it'd be okay then.
so does that mean we need to have to bring it back, or we can approve it
It with the
contingent
change.
on that change? What would we need to do?
Well, if you want to make the change tonight, just add that as an additional deletion.
Okay, I don't have a problem with taking that out. I think personal attacks covers it,
I was going to say the same thing.
kind of like double language anyway. So
Okay.
leave that personal attacks part, take out the word accusations. Do we need to vote again, or,
We haven't voted yet.
You'd have to vote. Yeah.
or we did vote? Or I know I had a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Okay,
But we haven't voted yet.
okay. All right. Andy, do you have any other questions?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, all right, then I have a motion on the floor, and it, take out, accusations and the other language that is in here to be taken out. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, and the one about the rules of procedure we'll have next time. So that is, the next item is green box sites. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And item C was the River Street proposal for the shelter at Piney Grove. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Second, I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that takes us to closed, and we'll let Amber read the rationale for closed.
To consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A3, and to consider the initial employment or appointment of an individual to any office or position other than a vacancy in the Board of County Commissioners or any other public body, or to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, and fitness of any public officer or employee other than a member of the Board of Commissioners or of some other public body pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A6.
Make a motion, we enter closed session.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, we'll have a short recess.